Hello students, Professor Sexton here with our third and final video lecture for the week. And this one is on your poetry paper. So let me begin by first sharing the poetry paper assignment with you. All right, so you should be able to see it. So for this for the poetry paper, what's going to happen here is I'm giving you an option of 4 topics. For each of the topics, I'm giving you some lines from a poem. I'm asking you to analyze those lines and then explain how they connect to a larger issue in the poem. So for instance, here are your topics. From Robert Hayden's Those Winter Sundays, is the last 2 lines where the speaker states, "What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices?" And so what I ask you to do here is to analyze these 2 lines and then explain how they explain the speaker's memories and his understanding of his father. The second option is from Robert Browning's My Last Duchess. And it's the last 3 lines of that poem that reads, "Notice Neptune, though, taming a seahorse, thought a rarity, which claws of Innsbruck cast in bronze for me," and then analyze these last 3 lines and then explain how they reflect both the personality in the Duke and how he views his wives, both past and future. The third one is from Charles Bukowski, The Japanese Wife. The quotation lines are, "And I took them down and put them face down in a drawer with my shirt. And it was the first time I realized that she was dead." Analyze these lines and then explain how these seemingly innocuous acts reflect the speaker's relationship and memories of his life. The fourth one is from Claude McKay's America. The quoted lines are, "Yet as a rebel fronts a king and state, I stand within her walls with not a shred of terror, malice, not a word of jeer." Analyze these lines and then explain how they give insight into the speaker's view in relationship to America. There is a fifth option, and you may select a different poem, but it must be one that we've read. And if you choose this option, be certain that you are analyzing particular lines from the poem and then relating them to larger ideas in the entire poem. This paper assignment calls for you to perform 2 tasks. First, you are analyzing the particular lines. So keep in mind that analyzing is asking questions and then looking to the poem and its poetic elements. Here, you might want to review the poetic terminology handout. That's the one that has the terms such as theme, topic, diction, figurative language, so forth and so on, to assist you in providing possible answers. And then second, you are using the analysis of the lines to relate to the larger questions concerning the entire poem. And so you notice, like in those first 4 options above, each of them give you what that larger questions are and the things that you're supposed to relate to. Writing about poetry, a lot of this just repeats stuff that was in the writing literary analysis handout. Use the speaker, do not confuse the speaker with the poet, and make sure that you use the present tense. And then what I've given you are information about how to quote poetry. I am not going to go over this in detail in this lecture because next week there's a separate lecture on using quotations, and so then I will go over that. But what I do want to say about quoting poetry that you need to be careful with is use a forward slash to indicate a line break, and you'll notice that I've done that in the example. So like if you go back up to Robert Hayden's, you notice I have "what did I know, what did I know," and then there's a forward slash. So that means that this is one line, and then this is the second line. And then for parenthetical citations, that is the line number. So if you look at this example here, "Son to my father got up early," that 1 tells you that's line 1. Notice that I don't have line there, I just have 1. So you'll want to do that when you're quoting poetry. As I said, there's 2 ways to do a quotation and block quotations, but I'll go over all of that information next week in a separate lecture on using quotations. Your paper needs to be typed and it needs to be double spaced. For the paper assignment, there's a suggested page length. So for this paper assignment, the suggested page length is 1.5 to 2.5 pages. I do not deduct points. based on page length. So this is just suggested. So this is what you want to aim for. But I score papers based on quality instead of quantity. Um, so I'm not. So if you turn in a paper that's one page, I'm not going to score it just because it's one page. Now, my thinking here is that one page is not enough to give all the information that you need to give. So that is what I'll be looking for. Keep in mind that for the papers in this class, you do not need to submit outlines or drafts, but if you want to, I will need them by Sunday, February 27 by 11:59, submitted through Blackboard. And if you go to Blackboard, I just put a tab into Blackboard that you'll see draft outlines for poetry paper. So you can submit the draft and outline there, and then that way I can see it and comment on it. And the due date for the paper assignment is Sunday, March 6th by 11:59 on Blackboard. So you have some time. There are two other documents that I want to share with you, but also what I want to emphasize here is that there's a slight difference in the documents depending on what section that you're in. So I have two online sections this semester, and so I'm recording one of these. One is for B13E and one is for FNT1. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the right document for your course. And I will explain this in a moment. So the last two things is I want to show you a sample poetry paper. And so I'm going to show you the one for FNT1. So and it's the same thing that I'll tell you what the differences are. So this is the formatting for your paper. In the top corner, you put your name. So here I just put Paul Atreides, the protagonist from Dune, but actually this is going to be your name. So this part you'll have to change. Then you'll put Professor Sexton, so that's for everyone. Then you'll put the course and the section number. So you put English, and if you're in section FNT1, you'll put English 102 FNT1. If you are in my other section, B13E, and I'll bring that up. If you're in my other section, B13E, you'll put B13E. So just make sure that you put the right thing here according to your section. And this is going to be in course document, so you'll see what you need to follow. And then the date is in this format. So you'll put the numerical date first. This paper is due on the 6th, so you put 6, March, and then the year 2022. Remember that your paper needs a title, and so you center in your title here, and then this is your introduction. What I want to emphasize here, every paragraph needs to be indented. Indented is simply when you tab over, or if your computer is not automatically set to tab, just hit space 10 times. But each paragraph needs to be indented, and each new paragraph is indented. That signifies to your reader that it's a new paragraph. So this is the introduction. Notice that the second paragraph is also indented. You can look at these paper assignments more closely because what they do is they give you an example of how to write a poetry paper, and specifically a poetry paper for this particular assignment. And so this is the format for this. So you can look at this. It's in course documents, and it'll help you structure your paper. The one other thing that I want to share with you is bonus points requirements. So this is what you'll need to do in order to get bonus points. So bonus points deals with the MLA formatting. We're doing 3 papers. And so for each paper, there's a possibility of 5 bonus points. And it's all or nothing. So everything has to be correct in order to get the 5 points. So keep in mind, on the top is your first name and last name, then your last name and page number, my name, then the English 102. And this once again depends on your section. If you're in section B13E, you do section B13. E. If you are in section FNT1, you do that. Then the date, 6 March 2022, title of your paper, and then the first sentence of each new paragraph needs to be indented. And then on the top of every subsequent page, you need just the page number. Let me flip back and show you this one more time so you can see how that looks. So notice that this is the first page with all that information there and the page number. But notice that on the second page, it's just the last name and the page number. So in order to get the 5 bonus points, here's what you have to do. In order to get the 5 bonus points, all of this information has to be correct. Your first name, your last name, page number. My name, Sexton, the course, English 102, and whatever your section number is. For those of you in B13E, is B13E. For those who are in FNT1, it'll be FNT1. Then this would be 6, spell out March 2022, all 4 digits of the year, title centered, and then every paragraph indented. And then on every subsequent page, you have to have your last name and the page number. All of that information has to be there in order to get the bonus points. And I'm going to be very pedantic here. So if all that information is not there and not done correctly, you won't get the bonus points. So if the section number is wrong, if this is in the wrong format, if the page numbers are not right, you will not get the bonus points. So make sure that you have all of that correct. And once again, I just wanted to remind you that depending on what section you're in, this is going to change in terms of section number. So for those of you who are in B13E, make sure that you do B13E. And for those that are in FNT1, you want to make sure that you do FNT1. In the course documents, when you look at the samples, it will have the right section number for you. All right, everyone. Thank you for your attendance and for watching. I know that there were a lot of videos in this section. Keep in mind that on Wednesday, there will be the optional Zoom class if you want to log in from 11 to 12 if you have any questions. And also keep in mind that you can always email me if you like as well. All right, everyone. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you next week. Bye.